Hi guys, this is Alexa Rivera. I am a worship leader and a student in Bible college right now, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about flowing with your worship team once a song in your set has finished. So this idea of flow time, it's kind of this moment where one song in your set has finished and you're not quite ready to move into the next song, but there's just this beautiful presence, there's this beautiful atmosphere in that room, and you want to kind of work with that and move from that without moving into the next song. And flowing can be such a powerful part of a worship service. It's unplanned, it's spontaneous, and even though it is all those things, you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power ahead of time and in the set to make sure that your team feels prepared and comfortable moving into that flow time. So before you even ever get to your service, you want to make sure you talk to your team ahead of time and that they have a clear understanding of your expectations of them during that flow time. And so your team should always be looking to you and defaulting to you for your signal and your directions. So when you want to talk to your musicians before you get to the service, what are you expecting from them during that flow time? Are you looking for them? You want to make sure that they're playing a chord pattern that's going to be really easy for singers to find melodies over and for singers to work with. So you want to have them, play maybe a chord progression from that previous song that you just ended, or another great way to work your chord patterns in during that flow time is have them flow from chord 1 to chord 4. And this is a really easy, transitioning from those two chords, one to the other, can be a great thing and a great and easy progression for singers to find melodies over. And talk to your singers. You want to make sure that, they're not all just going off and singing their own thing, because sometimes what can happen is everybody on the team, they have all these rabbit trails of musical ideas that they're following and they're just playing and singing random stuff. But you want to make sure that your singers are always looking to you, the worship leader, for what to do. So you want to make sure that you're using hand signals. I know at my church we use this signal to indicate that we're going into flow time. Or if you have a talkback mic and you use an in-ear system, you can also have someone giving directions over that talkback mic just to communicate clearly with the team what is happening. And also, you want to make sure that as the worship leader, you've been anointed, you're leading that team at that time. You want to make sure that your team knows that you not only have confidence in them, but that they have confidence in themselves. They've been put on that worship team. God has placed them there. He's using them to lead that congregation. Because a lot of times what you'll notice is when the team that's on the platform is not confident in what they're doing and how they're leading the people, that's going to translate to an uneasiness on the part of the congregation. When you're on that stage, you have a position to lead that congregation, like I said. So you want to make sure that your team is confident in what they're doing. And a confidence on the platform stems from that personal time with the Lord. When your team is waiting on the Lord in their personal time, they're taking that time in the secret place to hear from God. When they get on the platform, it's going to be easy for them to hear melodies. It's going to be easy for them to hear the song of the Lord. It's going to be easy for them to get words for the congregation in that time because they've prepared themselves spiritually ahead of time. Personal worship times lead to powerful flow time because your heart is already going to be connected to the Lord. And as worship teams and as worship leaders on the platform, we should be worshiping the Lord. What we do on the platform is merely a fraction of what we're doing behind the scenes. So when we have our hearts connected to what the Father is speaking to us already, flow time gets a whole lot easier because we're already hearing from Him on the regular. And like I said, when you have that personal worship time, that builds confidence in you that what God is speaking through you is what you've heard from Him already. That spontaneous time is just an extension of that worship that has been cultivated in yourself as the worship leader and in your team as a whole, as you all seek after the Lord together. So you want to make sure, like I said, that you're communicating clearly with your team before you even get to the platform. And that when you are on the platform, you're using either the talkback or hand signals or whatever it may be so that your team knows what's going on and that they are confident that this flow time is just going to be, not a separate, part of the worship, but just a continuation of the worship that your congregation and your worship team are already having on the regular.